Mock Test 2.
The listening test for the Grade 1 examination is about to begin. Listen carefully to the directions. You will not be permitted to ask questions during the test. This test has 4 parts. All of the questions in these 4 parts are multiple choice questions. For each question, choose the best answer from among the 4 choices written in your test booklet. On your answer sheet, find the number of the question and mark your answer. You are permitted to take notes for every part of this listening test. Now, here are the directions for Part 1. In this part, you will hear 10 dialogues, number 1 through number 10. Each dialogue will be followed by one question. For each question, you will have 10 seconds to choose the best answer and mark your answer on your answer sheet. The dialogue and the question will be given only once.
Now we will begin the Grade 1 listening test. Number 1.
I heard we're getting new computers, but there's no telling whether that's true.
It is. Our outdated devices will be replaced as recommended in the review by the IT consultants we hired last quarter. However, we'll also have new rules for system usage.
Like what?
We won't be able to download any apps onto the devices. Also, we'll be blocked from visiting any social media or news websites.
Oh, that's really too much. Doesn't the firm trust us?
Well, it doesn't want us wasting time looking up fashion trends or celebrity gossip.
Question. What does the woman imply about the review?
Number 2.
Well, I was able to get every course I wanted, even intermediate Russian.
I'm surprised, since you said the basic level was so difficult. I suppose you're going to go ahead and look for jobs in Moscow after you graduate.
Absolutely. There will be a lot of opportunities there.
I wish you'd stay here in Chicago. There are so many great openings in this city, but I guess it's also important to follow your dreams.
Question. What will the woman do?
Number 3.
Has your team come up with ideas to improve our operations?
Yes, our new factory should be built in different regions of the world.
That would be a very big project.
Yes, but spreading out production reduces our risk.
What about construction costs?
The outlay wouldn't be too high. We've crunched the numbers.
I think that you've convinced me, but I still want to confirm your data.
Okay, I'll email it to you and we can discuss it any time.
Question. What does the woman conclude about the team's proposal?
Number 4.
Professor Katz, could I speak to you?
Sure. What's on your mind, Hideki?
I was thinking about taking some technology courses next year, but I wanted to get your input first.
I thought you wanted to become a corporate attorney.
I do, but one specializing in patent law. I'd need a strong technical background for that, right?
I'd say yes, but there's more to it than that. Why don't you drop by during my office hours on Thursday to cover some important details?
Question. What does Professor Katz imply?
Number 5.
Did you see the launch party for BGA 5000 mobile phone?
The one held by Keras Telecom? I saw their web broadcast.
I'd like our firm to do something like it.
You're the boss, but as a startup, shouldn't we put all our financial resources into R&D, sales, and other critical functions?
True, but we also have to boost employee morale. I'm sure that you could design something that's both fun and cost-effective.
Okay, give me a few days and I'll see what I can come up with.
Question. What does the woman want the man to do?
Number 6.
I see that you're playing Sky Plane Race. It's fun, isn't it?
Honestly, it's not really as interesting a video game as I'd imagined.
I'm surprised you feel that way. I've played it a lot, and the story seems cool and the action fast-paced.
I see your point, but I think that the characters are underdeveloped.
What do you mean?
We aren't given any history on them. Take Jenny Starr, for instance, the character in the white helmet. She's brave, but why? We're not informed.
True, but I'm still not convinced that's so important.
Question. What is the woman's opinion of the game?
Number 7.
These endless meetings still haven't resulted in a new quality control strategy.
And that's going to negatively impact our bottom line. But even with that danger, Mr. Johnson still hasn't approved any action plan. I really hope Ms. Murayama takes over.
I couldn't agree more. She's decisive and does more than just collect data. I'd say everyone in our section feels the same way.
I'm sure we'll get our wish. We only have to bide our time.
Right, and I'm sure that we won't have to do that for long either.
Question. What will these people do?
Number 8.
Hi, Lena. Back already? We weren't expecting you until tomorrow.
I thought I'd come here right from the airport. I want to catch up on some assignments.
Oh, got it. And how was the honeymoon?
Amazing. Australia was wonderful, although too expensive.
But worth it, wasn't it?
I'd say so, particularly the beaches and the outback. You can go to my social media sites to see some photos.
I'll do just that, right after I get off work today.
Okay, by then I'll have uploaded a few more for you to look at.
Question. What is one thing the woman says?
Number 9.
I know that the last thing we did yesterday was exchange 175 million euros for Australian dollars. How do those positions look this morning?
They're up 3.4% against US dollar and still rising steadily as of 9:30 a.m.
Great. That's much better than I'd even hoped for. If things keep up like this, we should collect a nice profit by the close of trading today.
Listen, I'm not trying to be negative, but I have to inform you that Cassie Wong's team thinks these gains are unsustainable. Perhaps we should convert half our holdings into Swiss francs right away as a hedge in case her group is right.
I'm not sure that I could agree to that. We'd miss out on some significant profits we could lock in by late afternoon.
Would you at least like to see some currency exchange models that were run this morning? They're very convincing and outline the kind of danger we could be in.
All right, bring them to the morning meeting in 20 minutes. After I see those figures, I'll make a final decision.
Okay, I'll be sure to do that. I'll also bring Cassie herself so she could explain these numbers in detail.
Question. What is the man worried about?
Number 10.
Take a look at this spreadsheet. Our operational expenses are through the roof. There's no way we're going to meet our earnings targets for the fiscal year if we don't do something.
We've already pushed utilities, facilities, and other fixed costs as low as they can go.
Okay, I get that. But what about variable costs, like wages? If we could cut those by 15 to 20%, the savings would really add up.
I'm not sure how much can be done there either. Most of our production is already located in low-wage regions, but even in those places, we're experiencing upward pressure on wages.
Then the next logical step is automation.
Replacing staff with robots? That would be incredibly expensive.
Only during the purchase and installation stages. After that, we should experience sharply lower production costs.
But we'd also have to pay for regular upgrades and maintenance.
True, but that'd still be less than the wages and benefits we're paying now. And think of the productivity gains.
Perhaps, although we'd still have to pay highly competitive rates to the technicians and programmers we'd need, especially if you're thinking of AI-based processes. Look, let's all step back for a moment and do a little more thinking and research. We can revisit the issue again on Friday.
Question: What does the man disagree with the women about?
Here are the directions for Part 2. In this part, you will hear 5 passages, A through E. Each passage will be followed by 2 questions, number 11 through number 20. For each question, you will have 10 seconds to choose the best answer and mark your answer on your answer sheet. The passage and the questions will be given only once. Now let's begin.
A. Dementia. Dementia is a disease that results in a substantial loss of reason and memory. As the disease advances, a person may become unable to consistently remember basic facts, such as the names of loved ones or dates, or manage simple organizational tasks such as preparing meals. At extreme stages, an adult regresses to the mental state of childhood. Although it was long thought to be just a part of growing old or due to psychological problems, neuroscientists in 1906 established dementia as a distinct disease of the brain, whose symptoms can be diagnosed and studied. In Alzheimer's, which accounts for the majority of dementia cases, protein fragments block nerve endings or clump inside brain nerve cells. Scientists have been exploring different ways to treat and possibly prevent the condition, including genetic approaches. These treatments may target strengthening nerve endings and protecting them against attack from the protein fragments. If researchers can do this, they may finally stop the disease. At the same time, they are trying to ensure that Alzheimer's genes are not passed on to children. At present, though, there is still no cure available.
Number 11. According to the speaker, what did scientists discover about dementia in 1906? Number 12. What are researchers trying to do?
B. Cosmic rings. The rings of the gas giant Saturn are one of the most dazzling phenomena in the solar system, and experts have advanced various ideas as to their formation. Early scientific theories suggested that the rings were formed from passing asteroids, comets, and other matter that became caught up in the gravity of the gas giant. These cosmic bodies would have broken up as they neared the planet, and their fragments would have formed the rings that we see today. Hence, these rings would be a fairly even mix of dust and ice. Yet, in recent years, scientists have been surprised that the data on Saturn and its rings provided by space probes doesn't support the earlier ideas. This new data proves that the rings are mainly composed of ice, and such large quantities of ice could not have come from relatively small passing bodies such as comets. Instead, many scientists now theorize that the rings were formed from material derived from some of Saturn's icy moons that broke up during or after the planet's formation. This theory is strengthened by the data obtained from the Cassini probe. It indicates that the icy moon Enceladus is the origin of one of the rings, the E ring.
Questions. Number 13. What did earlier researchers believe about Saturn's rings? Number 14. What does the speaker say about the Cassini probe? C. The Lost Colony. One of the enduring mysteries of the earliest years of America was the vanishing of the Roanoke colony. It was founded in 1585 by Walter Raleigh, a British explorer and adventurer. Established in what is now North Carolina, the colony initially had some success and managed to send maize and tobacco to the British court. Raleigh had an incentive to grow the colony. If he did not, he would lose his sole development rights there. A self-sustaining, expanding colony would benefit him tremendously. Yet relations between the Roanoke colonists and Native Americans were violently hostile. This tense situation made the colony heavily dependent on arms, reinforcements, and materials from Britain. However, these crucial supply runs were interrupted for several years due to the Anglo-Spanish War. When a British supply ship landed again in 1590, the colony had disappeared. The ship's crew carefully picked over the colonists' encampment, but the site revealed no signs of a struggle or human remains. The only clue to the colonists' whereabouts was the inscription of Croatoan on a wooden board. This has led some historians to theorize that the colonists moved to a nearby island with that name and integrated with the Native Americans there. The true fate of the colonists may never be known.
Questions. Number 15. What is one reason Walter Raleigh had to grow the Roanoke colony? Number 16. What do some researchers today believe about the inscription left behind by the colonists?
D. Punishment in America. Prison designs and philosophies vary around the world. Those in the United States tend to focus on deterrence theory. Under this model, prison terms are often intentionally harsh in order to prevent people from committing crimes. In some American supermax prisons, as a case in point, inmates are kept in what amounts to permanent solitary confinement, with no access to other prisoners and sometimes not even to sunlight. Such severe measures are based on the rational actor theory, which suggests that people think about probable outcomes before they act. Therefore, fearing tough punishments, potential criminals would rationally decide to remain within the law. Many experts doubt the usefulness of deterrence, though. One problem is that many actual or potential criminals do not believe they will be caught. In American high crime districts, the arrest rate can be well under 75%, meaning that criminals know there is a good chance that they will evade detection. Studies also show that about 50% of Americans are under the influence of drugs or alcohol when committing crimes. But even when sober, they are often only vaguely aware of how the law applies to what they do. As Professor Jonathan Groner claimed in his research, criminals act in a highly emotional or illogical mental state. Therefore, a criminal justice system that focuses so heavily on punishment simply does not significantly affect rates of crime.
Questions. Number 17. What is one thing the speaker says about American prisons? Number 18. Why are many experts skeptical of the way the American criminal justice system handles criminals?
E. Gene mutations. Mutations are changes in an organism that occur at the genetic level. As a result, they are heritable or can be passed from parents to offspring. Charles Darwin thought mutation was primarily a response to environment. He also speculated that mutations were very infrequent, gradual, and random, and normally only those mutations which gave an organism an advantage would become widespread in a population. As an example, he noted the webbed feet of ducks. The webbing, which most likely was a mutation from non-webbed feet, makes swimming much easier for the animal. Scientists now know that mutagenesis, or the process of forming mutation, can actually sometimes be quite sudden and not necessarily caused by the environment in general, but by a single factor or mutagen, a specific chemical, for instance. Moreover, deleterious mutations, those harming rather than helping an organism, such as those causing cancer or Alzheimer's, can also be heritable. To combat this, tools such as site-directed mutagenesis have been developed. This technique artificially creates mutations. Researchers can study these and learn how best to prevent them from being passed on to children.
Questions. Number 19. What did Charles Darwin believe about ducks? Number 20. According to the speaker, what may site-directed mutagenesis allow scientists to do?
Here are the directions for Part 3. In this part, you will hear 5 passages, F through J. The passages represent real-life situations and may contain sound effects. Each passage will have 1 question, number 21 through number 25. Before each passage, you will have 10 seconds to read the situation and question written in your test booklet. After you hear the passage, you will have 10 seconds to choose the best answer and mark your answer on your answer sheet. The passage will be given only once. Now let's begin.
F. You have 10 seconds to read the situation and question number 21.
I'd like you to consider these individuals. Andrea Koppel is certified in production and has 7 years of extensive experience, some of it in a leadership capacity. I don't think she'd accept an offer of less than $15 per hour. David Hong is an assembly worker with about 2 years in production. He has no supervisory experience or certifications, but I'm sure he'd accept hourly pay of $12. Samuel Rodriguez is a recent graduate of a technical high school with no work history, but he's certified in a broad range of production tools. We could probably hire him for under $10 per hour. Becky Jenkins is returning to the workforce after a 7-year absence. She's led production teams before and has been recertified in several major production systems. She's indicated that she expects at least $11 per hour. Let me know your thoughts on these people.
Now mark your answer on your answer sheet.
G. You have 10 seconds to read the situation and question number 22.
There are several things that you can do to get better soon. I can prescribe you some extra-strength nighttime cold medicine. You might feel a bit drowsy during the day, but after just a day or 2, you should feel good as new. You should also take a couple of days off. Your symptoms might be caused by work stress, and so staying away from that for a few days could make you quite energetic again. An alternative to that would be a vitamin injection. It's painless and should give you a big boost for the day. You could get 3 of them over the next 3 days. Now, you might be tempted to just buy some caffeine pills at the pharmacy, and they'll certainly give you a quick boost. At the same time, though, they tend to make people a bit nervous, and when they wear off, you might feel incredibly sleepy.
Now, mark your answer on your answer sheet.
H. You have 10 seconds to read the situation and question number 23.
You might want to think about getting a ticket for the Red Line bus. It stops by each of the main terminals, and it's the cheapest option at only $10. But it'd take over 2 hours to reach your destination from here. A subway ticket to the airport is pricier at $35, but you'd reach your terminal in just 45 minutes. Of course, you can use a rideshare app to reserve a car. That would usually cost under $25, but since this is rush hour, you should know that your trip could take as long as an hour. Many travellers prefer taking the Airport Express train since it takes you directly to the terminals in under 30 minutes and you bypass all traffic. The only thing you'd have to consider is the price, $50 for a one-way ticket.
Now mark your answer on your answer sheet.
I. You have 10 seconds to read the situation and question number 24.
Thank you for contacting us. We're pleased that you're interested in supporting our team. We have many offers for you, starting with season tickets. They would enable you to see any of the team's home games at a 20% discount. These are non-transferable, though, meaning they could only be used by you. Our Super Fan Ticket Plan gives you access to any 9 home games per year at 10% off regular prices. It makes the perfect gift since it could be used by anyone. The Playoff Plus package is also transferable and lets you see the same number of games as the Super Fan Plan. Instead of a discount, you'd get to see up to 4 playoff home games, if the team makes it that far. The Winner Up ticket set at a 15% discount also makes a great gift. It can be used by anybody for up to 7 home games.
Now, mark your answer on your answer sheet.
J. You have 10 seconds to read the situation and question number 25.
You've met your sales targets 3 years in a row, which is commendable. If you're looking to earn even more, there's an opening for an assistant director at our Dallas office, and it involves frequent travel to Mexico. However, you could nearly double your pay if you worked as a sales trainer right here in Baltimore. It's a regular 9-to-5 position, and you'd actually have less responsibility. If you're really intent on leaving, though, our branch in Hong Kong is an option. You'd be doing the same job as you do now, but get paid more there than anything available stateside. You'd also be eligible for performance bonuses and free housing. The manager there, Patricia Fung, is looking for people like you to join her group. Your hometown Philadelphia has a position in its online sales office. It'd be a step down in pay initially, but you'd be learning IT skills that would bring a lot of future opportunities.
Now mark your answer on your answer sheet.
Finally, here are the directions for Part 4. In this part, you will hear an interview. The interview will be followed by 2 questions, number 26 and number 27. For each question, you will have 10 seconds to choose the best answer and mark your answer on your answer sheet. The interview and the questions will be given only once.
This is an interview with Annalene Crabb, who is a childcare worker who also runs a childcare centre.
Welcome to Small Business Weekly. I'm your host, Michael Hunt. Joining me today is Annalene Crabb. Annalene runs and owns a childcare center. Welcome, Annalene.
Thank you for having me on the program, Michael.
So, what are the most significant challenges you face when caring for children?
Young children have so much energy that keeping up with them can be exhausting. I structure the day into 30-minute activities, and this tends to help manage their attention spans and keep everyone under control. However, I've noticed that when it is a windy day, children tend to become hyperactive. I have not yet found any structure that can contain them. We provide the children with their lunch, but sometimes the parents will give their children snacks containing sugar. This affects their mood, and they appear crazy.
Have you noticed any changes to teaching methods in childcare centers?
Essentially, the material they're being taught is the same as always, but it's the method that has changed. There have been some significant changes in the past 10 years. There is a move away from the traditional classroom-based learning, where children learn by sitting and watching. Today, the research indicates that learning is the most productive when children are given small projects and allowed to work in teams. My opinion is that this prepares them for further education and, most importantly, teaches them skills that will enable them to be more productive. They are only young children, but this sets a good foundation for the future.
Now, there are so many new childcare centers starting up. How do you remain competitive?
You are correct in saying that there are more childcare centers, but this is a response to the increased demand. There is an increased number of families where both parents return to their jobs after having children, and elderly family members such as grandparents do not typically live in the same household, but we still have to attract students. Cost is one measure we use. We cannot charge too much or too little. We have started to provide students with lunch, which not many other childcare centers do. We've also looked to update our classrooms to be more modern and light-filled. Our environment makes a huge difference to the attitude of the students. Another factor that we use to differentiate our services is the quality and training of our teachers. All of our teachers have received first aid certification, and once a month they're required to undergo training in the latest childcare techniques. We're focused on how we can develop the children and prepare them for their future, while others are just interested in looking after them.
So, what is the future of childcare?
I think from an education perspective, there will be more integration of electronic learning into the classroom. This includes teaching aids like smartboards and tablets. However, we have to be careful that the children do not spend too much time on these devices. So I believe that streamlining the experience for parents will make a big difference. Ensuring that the parents can track their child's progress online, receive report cards and bills online, and interact efficiently with the teaching staff is indeed a benefit of technology. Other than that, we aim to keep the children healthy, happy, and safe.
Well, Annalene, it's been great having you on the show.
Thanks, Michael.
Questions. Number 26. What are Annalene's feelings regarding new teaching methods? Number 27. What is Annalene doing to keep her business competitive?
Your time is up. Stop writing and wait quietly until the answer sheets have been collected.